Hi, I'm starting this video for educational purposes, not to show hate to anyone or anything. I'm stressing this because a lot of will disagree with me and maybe show hate to me, but this is my story to save to future generations and to help people understand and to let people know they are not alone. This story is only from my perspective alone. Hi, my name is Alexi Downey, and I would like to share my Russian adoption story. I was born in a small rural town in Smolensk in the year 1990. The accurate date of birth is really unknown. All I know is I was born in the same year, but I had three different birth months. It was chosen by my adoptive parents that they choose July 29th as my birthday. My story was not in the least a happy or loving story for the most part. And I will have to redact names. I will have to redact my adoptive parents' names and my sister's name to keep the peace and for legal purposes. I have lived in the U.S. for now 25 years and have found the courage to tell my story of adoption, abuse, and separation of my sister and my adoptive parents and extended family as well. When I was on my way to being adopted, I had to travel by train all the way to Moscow to where my sister was located. So now a lot of people didn't have the luxury as we do today or here in America to travel by car. So a lot of the traveling that happened was by train and by foot. So me and this lady that came to my orphanage to pick me up. Well, short story short, actually, let me go back a little bit. So it was the year 1997. Around Christmas time, I was pulled away from the orphanage duties or fun, so to say, or school or whatever I was pulled from, and these two gentlemen walk in to my orphanage and they're like, "Hey, we would like to talk to you. We are here because we have found your sister, and you are going to be adopted out by a family." I barely really knew my sister at the time. I mean, I was pretty young. We were separated for a year and a half into two different orphanages. And so these two gentlemen came in, and they showed me a video on a old recorder with my sister dancing around a Christmas tree, and they're like, "Hey, this is your sister, and you're going to be adopted out by a new family, and you're going to be." I didn't know where I was going, though. I didn't know if I was going to be adopted out by a Russian family or a different country family, and so from there they're like, "Hey, do you like honey sticks?" And I was like, "Yes, I do. I love honey sticks as a child, and some licorice." So I sat there and I ate that, and they talked some more. They talked to the orphanage director, and the very next day, that lady, as I was talking about earlier, she came in, and I think I had maybe one pair of clothes that I brought with me, and we set on this journey. We went to, I believe, the first place we went was the hospital to get my vaccinations, or of some sort of vaccinations, because I had more when I came to the U.S. And then from there, we went to the train somewhere in Smolensk and got on the train, and then went from the train to Moscow, and the first day I got there, I think it was roughly nighttime, and so it was bedtime, and we all went to bed. When I woke up, I got to see my sister for the first time, and she looked very disattached, very scared to see me. I mean, she probably didn't really know who I was, especially for the age difference and all that. So we got to play a little bit together, got to, get to know each other, I got to know all the other orphans that were at that orphanage. And the next day, I believe, was January January 1st of the year, I think 1998. I was 7 years old at this time, and my sister was 5. And then that night, we got to watch fireworks, and got to see like the festivities basically from the windows of the orphanage. Because I think we're in a higher level, like a second story or something. And the very next day, Brian Linda showed up. Sorry, I don't know why I said that. My adoptive parents showed up. My adoptive father and adoptive mother. And they brought us bags full of goodies, and I got a Kinder Egg. Back in the day, Kinder Eggs were very special in Russia. They were made out of I think it was glass or some sort of ceramic. And it was like my favorite toy. I still remember it was like a dolphin or something like that. And I got some Legos, some Pez candies, and my first pair of pajamas, Dalmatian, all Dalmatian pajamas, and my sister got some Barbies and Barbie clothes. I think maybe a stuffed animal, and after that, I think we went to sleep again, and my parents came back because they had to do some paperwork. And from what my parents said, they got pulled over by the Russian police and were essentially arrested or detained, and they had to be fingerprinted. Basically, the court was asking them why they were there, what reasons, and then they're like, "Oh, but we're here to adopt 2 children from Russia," and they're like, "Okay, well, we understand that." So they got released, but obviously there's fingerprints and DNA or whatever they took from them was in the system now. And then from there, the very next day, we get up, we move, or we go to stay at a interpreter's house because my parents had to pay for an interpreter. Him and his wife were very kind, and they let us stay in their home for, I think it was like an extra 2 days. I think me and my sister watched some cartoons. I believe it was Pink Panther and the old style Pink Panther. And